you mentioned that you had some questions you wanted to ask. Should we hop into that now, or do you want to save that for next time?
Wait, what question?
I know you said there's so many things you want to talk about.
Oh yeah, I just felt like I could talk all day.
Oh. Today I have a great social media friend of mine that we just met today, Christa Allen.
Yes,
Yes.
I feel like I know you.
Yeah, well, I feel like I know you too. Christa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How would we know who you are? Where have we seen you? What are you up to now?
Hi, yes, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Christa from Riverside, California.
Yeah.
A small suburban town.
Oh, okay.
Folks know me from a movie called 13 Going on 30.
Never heard of
I
it.
played a young Jenna. We haven't stopped talking about it since. Love the movie.
Yeah.
Thank God for Jenna Rink.
Yeah.
And I also did a show called Revenge years ago. And I've done a million things in between, but those are the ones that people recognize me from.
Yeah.
And now, I'm just a regular old TikTok addict like the rest of us.
And you do a great job with it. I feel you talk about mental health. You do some fashion content as well. You're always bringing out the looks. And you're very relatable. So I think that's been cool about your content is, seeing you go from, I guess, would it be child actor? Is that technically like what you would call yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Child actor
8 years old on a set.
But you're still an actress.
Yes.
But then it was 8 years old. You were 8 years old.
Yeah, when I started.
On 13 Going 30? Or your first?
Oh, no.
Your first?
Yeah, just when I started. I was like doing student films and stuff.
Oh, okay. What was your first? Was 13 Going 30 your first big project?
Yeah, it was my first big project, and I'll never forget my first experience with Crafty.
Yeah,
or like catering.
Oh, like craft catering. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
you could go up to this truck. I was 11 years old, and you could go up to this truck. And I grew up eating like top ramen, but you could go up to this truck and order literal steak and lobster.
Oh my God.
For lunch, and I was like, what is this world, and how can I stay
I would still order
forever?
ramen probably. But yeah.
Like, no, do you have the little plastic, not the fresh one, I want the plastic package.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Can it come in a cup, please? Thank you.
They're like, sir, you can get crab here.
Yeah, you can get crab. No caviar, thank you. What was I just want to ask, because I know like we were talking about, I was doing a lot of like research just ahead of time, and I saw, it was like, oh, Jennifer Garner commented on your 30th birthday post. But as far as 13 Going 30, what was the casting process like? Like, did they want to find someone that looked just like Jennifer Garner and then they picked you, or do you know how many people you were up against for that?
It was an interesting process because they'd actually completely made the movie, and including my scenes. And I guess when all these big films, they show it to test audiences and get reactions from people, and they ended up wanting to recast the younger characters. So I was a recast, and we shot my portion like 2 weeks before the film came out.
Oh my gosh.
Everything else was completed, and they just like plugged in the new scenes. But it was really intense. Like, it was a last minute thing.
Because it's not like you were in like 30 seconds of the movie. It's like 2 big full scenes, like the beginning and the end. Right?
Yeah, it was like a good 15 minutes of footage. And the audition process was still really long. I remember auditioning for like months, and all of the girls were kind of auditioning together. The girls that ended up playing the 6 Chicks, which not everyone knows. There's a couple of interesting girls in the 6 Chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
We had Brie Larson and Ashley Benson, who are now, big stars.
Yeah,
so.
As are you. That's amazing. So I wanted to ask a question, not about the movie, but just about your 13-year-old self. And you kind of created this TikTok series, I guess you could say. But that's what you've also done, is you've taken, your acting skills to TikTok as well. But this VN, I think is what it's called, right? The advice to your 13-year-old self. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to your 13-year-old self?
I think it's the same advice I'd give to myself at any age, which is just to not listen to the negativity around you. Like, there's always going to be someone to tell you can't do it, or it's not possible, or, they're projecting their judgment of themselves onto you. They don't approve of your behavior, whatever it is. But I've always been a bit of like a rebel and an anarchist, and that served me really well, because I don't I don't subscribe to the way other
Unsubscribe.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. Do it your way.
Yeah. I think for me, I would have the same advice is, do things your way. And I like when I first started making social media, I made one of my handles just me Rod, just because it was like Rod was taken, and every day I just still DM the guy. I'm like, can I please get the handle Rod? But I like it because it's just me. I feel like this whole world we have these boxes that we're put into, that we subscribe to, that we listen to, and that kind of shape us. And not everyone wants to live that journey, live that life. Not everyone wants to have a promotion at work. So why do you have to subscribe to what other people want? Why can't you just live the life that you want to live?
Yeah.
Protect your inner peace, protect your inner child, all that.
Yeah. I was having this conversation with a girlfriend yesterday who, someone said to her, she's like in her mid to late 30s. And she had like gone out with some girlfriends in the OC and ended up like crashing at someone's house,
Mm-hmm.
Like sleeping on the couch or whatever. And someone said to her like, oh my God, you're so sloppy. How could you behave this way at almost 40 years old?
Oh my God.
Because she went out with her friends and like slept on someone's couch. And you're like, that has nothing to do with me
No.
and everything to do with how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like we get that in so many different ways, especially with social media. And it's just like everyone's projection of how they feel about themselves, and they want to tell you about it. And it's like, no, that's nothing to do with my reality.
Yeah.
If I want to go hang out with my friends and like get drunk and crash on a couch, so be it.
Like I didn't when I was in college, high school, that's not the life I lived. And so it's like, why, if I want to experience that now at 32, why can't I do that?
Yeah. Never stop playing, by the way.
Exactly. Well, I think that's why, I'm sure you've seen, Drew Barrymore's Playing in the Rain, like whenever you can. And people, there are some people who are like giving her hate for it.
Yeah.
But then everyone came on the internet and was like, you leave Drew Barrymore alone, because she is like in a season right now. I think she's finding her inner child.
Yeah.
And it's so important, to still discover what your inner child's like. It's so therapeutic.
Yeah. Discovery, that play that leads to making new connections, which is the definition of creativity.
We still experience new senses. It's like children, when they're being raised, they learn from sensory activities, right? And every day we experience new smells, new senses, we see new things. So why can't we discover new things daily? I love that term you just used, discovery.
You used it first. I was like, oh, that's a good
yeah.
one. I have I'm an aerialist, and so I have like an apparatus in my house.
Oh,
and
yes,
the one
I've seen it.
I keep up most often is my hammock, which, if you're not doing hammocky things in it, is basically a swing. So I'll just be like, swing.
Yeah. If it brings you joy, why not?
Yeah.
If it brings you joy, why not? That's why, I think my version of self-care, some people's version of self-care is going on a run. Some people's having a spa day. Mine is binge watching 3 hours of TV because it makes me feel good, So I think just finding what makes you happy is what is therapeutic to you. I did want to ask, because we were talking about adolescence, what were you actually like as a 13-year-old? Like, you walk into a mall. What stores were you going to? What did you do on the weekends with your friends?
I've always been very like creative and exploratory.
Mm-hmm.
So I was that way with my friends too. My dominant memories from childhood were like, you mentioned the mall, but I lived in the IE and I had friends in Orange County. So back then you could get a Disneyland pass, an annual pass for like $100.
Oh,
and so a lot of us would have like Disneyland annual passes, and we would just go hang out there.
Oh, fun.
Because it was, essentially free once you buy the annual pass.
Right.
And I remember just like, I had this friend Courtney, who's also an actress, and now she's like a blogger too.
Oh, cool.
And we would like make stupid little short films and stuff on our phones at the hotel there.
The original vlog.
Yeah. So we were just always being like silly and creative.
Did you have a favorite Disney movie growing up?
Yeah, probably Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, because you saw yourself as Belle.
Yeah, and then later was cast as Belle at Disneyland.
Oh, really?
When I needed a real job, yeah.
You were a cast member?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. How long did you do that for?
About a month.
Oh, okay.
So I had 2 real jobs growing up. One was working at the ice cream shop in my hometown, and then the other one was a brief stint at Disneyland. I was there long enough to learn how to be Belle. Like, I went through all the training, And then as soon as I was ready to be put into the park, I booked revenge. And I was like,
oh my God.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm going to work at Disney in a different capacity.
I think that's so interesting. So you worked 13 Going on 30, which is a blockbuster hit, and then you went back to your hometown and just lived your life. Did you go to like normal middle school, high school?
I went to...
Because I think for me,
No.
growing up in the Midwest, like I'm so new to this industry, like you imagine people, it's like you hear about like, okay, well now they just have to be homeschooled because they're celebrities, like they can't integrate back into normal life. So
yeah, I remember
should
being
be.
in grade school, like 5th and 6th grade, and I was already working by then.
Mhm.
So my friends would be like, this is what we're doing on the weekend. And I'd be like, oh, sorry, I can't. I have to like work. I have to
yeah, work.
I have to focus on my career.
Yeah.
And the whole time I can just remember like classmates being like, what the who does this girl think she is? She's 10 with
It's
a
like,
career.
We want to go to
Okay.
Disneyland. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my dominant
Wow.
memories from childhood are just always being like over the top and like too much for people.
No, I don't think that's never a thing. It's like you're never too much. You know, you're exactly what you need to be. You know, if other people can't live with that, then it is what it is. But you can't say that to a 10-year-old. They don't understand.
Yeah. They don't get it yet, but one day they
Yeah.
will. And
Yeah.
if you say that to a 10-year-old, they'll be like, what is this grown up talking about? And then one day they'll look back on it and be like, oh my God, it all makes sense.
Do you have anything like that from your childhood that you've looked back on? You're like, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I can remember before I started filming 13 Going on 30, I went and met Jennifer Garner and I asked her for advice.
Who's an angel? I've heard.
She's an
Yeah.
angel.
Mhm.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
And she always just said to make sure that you're still living a real life,
Mm-hmm.
because you can get so wrapped up in just working all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you forget what the experience is like to just like kick it on the couch and like,
Right.
you know, have relationships
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
outside of coworkers.
Ooh, have relationships. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of too, you know, just being open and being yourself, mental health, you're pretty big, you're pretty vocal about, you know, like the relatability that the inner struggles that we go through. You give some motivation on your content. I wanted to ask you a question as a man. What do you think of men being open about not only their mental health, but their emotional struggles? Like I know for me growing up, there's always this stigma of men crying is weakness. But I guess what are your thoughts on men showing vulnerability?
I think the more men are open to showing vulnerability and the more we as a society, no matter our gender identity, are open to receiving that,
Mhm.
I think we will all benefit from it.
Right.
I think it hurts us all when people are forced to keep things inside.
Truly.
Because then you develop all these other toxic feelings like shame, I think is,
Mhm.
you know, horrible for all of us. We all lose when we feel shame about very normal emotions. And
Because that puts us back into that box. that we're talking
yeah,
about. Yeah.
and we start, you know, behaving in ways that hurt one another.
Mhm.
And what I've noticed with men who are open about those emotions and those struggles is inevitably every time people are open to receiving it and they're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I wish I did this earlier.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's one thing I find so interesting about sharing on the internet, even if it's like, you know, oh God, I've been so like fascinated by how so many people are, the only identity they have on social media is being like super mysterious. Like
Oh my God.
never a location tag, never a fucking who I'm with. Like it's
Yeah.
all about being mysterious. And I'm the opposite. I'll be like,
Yeah,
I ate
yeah,
here.
yes.
It was terrible. I was with this person. They were being crazy. Like whatever.
Yes.
I'm like Miss Anti-Gatekeep. And what you notice is like, even if it's something embarrassing, like one time I made a TikTok about, I get this one really long chin hair that
Mhm.
grows.
Yeah.
It's like a thick
which
one.
is related. I hear a lot of people get that.
Yeah, it's like a
I mean, I
like
have it all over my face.
a
but-
man-size hair.
Oh, wow.
Just one that grows out. And I made this TikTok about it, and every woman in the comment section was like, "Me too.
Yes.
Fuck that hair."
Yes, which people need to see. You know,
Yeah.
fuck that hair.
Talk about the embarrassing stuff. It's funny
Yes, exactly. That's. I think people get.
and not embarrassing.
No, I think that's where social media has kind of the evolution. Did you have a MySpace?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did your MySpace profile look like? Did you code it yourself?
Yeah, we all learned
Yeah.
HTML
Yeah,
at that point.
exactly.
You
And
had
it-
one too, right?
But then all that knowledge went away. Like in 2008, it's like all of a sudden I don't even know how to convert to a PDF. It's
yeah,
like, I don't know what happened.
I just know to make a color, it's like
Yeah.
6 digits.
Oh, wow. So you even remember that.
Yeah.
So you have the knowledge. What did it look like? Was it edgy? Was it more poppy?
Oh God, I couldn't tell you, but I was like all up in the AOL chat rooms.
Oh, really? What was your screen name? Do you remember that?
CB Actress 91.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I had a girl recently DM me on Instagram and be like, hey girl, do you remember we used to be on the AOL chat rooms together? And I was like, whoa.
I didn't even think about that.
Those people still exist.
Well, and I remember we were just in a chat room and chatting with random people. It's like, oh yeah, like about middle school or high school. Like there could be a 50-year-old man in here. It's like we had no idea.
Yeah, we just trusted.
Yeah, we just trusted. We literally just trusted.
Yeah, we had our AOL chat room thing was we were Siggy sisters, and that was. Do you remember signatures were a big thing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we all did like custom signatures with like butterflies, and you know they were very fancy. We were very like elitist about our signatures.
I feel like we need to make a movement somehow about reconnecting with people that you chatted with on AOL.
Wouldn't that be funny?
How do we do that? All right, we're gonna have to workshop that.
They're gonna watch this podcast.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I hope so.
And then we'll reconnect. This is the space.
If you're out there watching, if you have if you have questions about your AOL pen pal, just reach out. See what happens.
What was your AOL experience?
Oh man, mine was wannabe rock. I think 90 because I was born in 1990. Because I really wanted to be emo, but I was highly sheltered growing up, so I couldn't be. Like my parents wouldn't even let me shop at Hollister. I had to shop at Old Navy and Gap because it was like Hollister was too edgy, or they had like shirtless people on their cover. You know.
Remember, it was all dark inside.
Oh, of course.
I was always scared to go in.
And it gave you an immediate headache from the cologne.
Yeah.
And the clothes were always 2 sizes too small. It was like a double XL was actually like a medium. And there was talk about sensory. You walk in, it's completely pitch black dark. You walk in, you have this intense migraine from the smell of Jake cologne that they pump through the vents, which I found out they actually spray it through the vents. But then you walk around the corner and there's a giant TV screen with the surfer on it, and it blinds you because there's dark everywhere else, and you can't even see the clothes that you buy.
No.
But everyone just trusted.
And it probably said something ridiculous, some graphic tee.
Yep, exactly. Oh my gosh. Ugh. And I think for me, I mean, it might have made more sense here, but growing up in Chicago, why am I wearing a shirt that says Laguna Beach on it? Or why am I a shirt that says Surf's Up? It's like I'm never going to surf in my life.
California, we're pervasive.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, the 2000s culture was people in the Midwest trying to not be from the Midwest, whether it be like Abercrombie, whether Hollister, we wanted to look like something else. But okay, I want to do a little rapid fire game if that's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to say things and you have to say the first thing that comes to your
mind. Oh,
okay.
Pressure.
Nickelodeon show.
Zoe 101.
Oh, Zoe 101. You're a Zoe stan.
I wasn't a Zoe stan, but I feel like I knew half the people on it. Okay. So it was just always in my awareness.
Mm. Okay. After school snack.
Rice Krispie treats.
Do you remember Rice Krispie Treats had a cereal? Rice Krispie Treats cereal? Not Rice Krispies.
Did they?
Oh my God. It was my favorite cereal growing up. That and Honeycomb. Remember Honeycomb? With the freaky guy in the commercial. It's discontinued. French Toast Crunch. Ugh.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yep. Okay. Fast food restaurant.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, okay. The iced tea? Or no?
Iced tea's good.
Yeah. What's your Chick-fil-A order?
I get the strips. I get a 4-piece strips.
I've never had the strips. Their waffle fries slap.
Unreal.
And I found this hack. So the Chick-fil-A sauce I think has barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, mustard, a bunch of stuff in it. But then everything. But I mix more ketchup in it, and it is so good.
Really?
Yeah. And then I'll pour a bunch.
Does it turn it pink?
Yeah, it turns it pink. It might be this pink sauce.
Because that's where my head immediately
Okay, wait.
went.
Can you explain the pink sauce trend to me? I have no idea what it is. I've just seen it in headlines.
I don't know. From what I understand, someone wanted to develop a viral condiment. Right. So they developed this pink sauce, and they're just shipping it out of their living room or whatever.
Great.
And everyone receives it, and it's spilled all over the place.
And I also heard it's has no approval.
Yeah, no consideration
FDA,
of food safety. Yeah, they're just
I saw people
I
saw a TikTok how I discovered it was a girl drinking her Pepto-Bismol. It's just my pink sauce.
Oh God. But what if you just took Chick-fil-A sauce, turned it pink,
right,
and then marketed it as the new pink sauce? And they're like, this is familiar and delicious.
Yeah, I could do that. My own pink sauce.
All right. We got to get on it.
90s musician.
Kurt Cobain.
Whoa. Okay.
No question.
Wow. So you had angst. You had some angst growing up.
Oh my God, but there were
Yeah.
so many good ones. Remember
Yeah.
Marcy Playground?
Oh yeah, of
I was
course.
playing some Marcy Playground the other day.
Oh my God. I remember I just wanted to be hard so bad. Like I even would just like sneak shopping on Hot Topic, and my MySpace song was Kyotos. Did you know Kyotos? They were like super intense angsty musician, and then my parents discovered it and they're like, "Are you okay?" Like, and that's when I discovered therapy as well.
Did you do the typical emo MySpace picture with the like hair in your face?
I tried to, but my hair is just it used to be so thick, which is shocking with the state it's in now. And my brother though straightened his bangs. Do you remember when guys did that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was like cut it straight across.
yeah, he cut it, yeah, and then straightened it. And he would always ask my mom straightener to use. And then I tried it once and burned my forehead and like never again.
You take the picture from up here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, last one. Let me think of a good one. Fashion trend.
I just can't stop wearing light white things.
Okay, great.
I just want to like feel like I'm on the beach in Spain.
Good, and it's also good for global warming with how hot it's been.
Yeah, dude.
I was in New York this week, and I've been in New York quite often, and I can deal with humidity. Chicago's super humid during the summer, but I've never felt anything like that.
Really?
It was so bad, and maybe it was just also the smell of New York added onto it, but that heat was something else, man.
Oh, Chicago's intense that way.
Yeah. Oh,
Summers, winters, all of it.
Yeah, we had the
Toughened you up.
the polar vortex. Did you hear about that?
Oh, right.
It reached negative 50 degrees. Yeah, and that was before wind chill. Yeah, because like we measure our temperature in wind chill, which is what it actually feels like with the wind. And you couldn't walk around downtown because things were falling off buildings. That's how cold it was. Yeah, like whether it was ice or fixtures, it was just that cold up there. Yeah.
That could kill somebody.
And it could. Yeah, so they're like, stay inside because especially living in downtown, you can't like. It was like The Day After Tomorrow. Remember The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I love that movie, weirdly enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was predictive.
Yeah, predictive.
We're living it now. Oh
Awesome.
God,
Love
I
that.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're doing it. We are doing it.
We're doing it. Strap in.
It's going to be snowing when we get outside.
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. Well, Christa, thank you so much for coming on Millennial Made. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything we can follow you on TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah.
Right? Is that where you live? Like just tell us where to find you.
Follow me on the internet.
Yeah. We'll put your social on the screen here.
Christa Allen, Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok, and come hang out.
Come hang out. Come see the chin hair stories, the hammocks.
Come watch me embarrass myself daily.
I want to try the aerial. I think yoga is what I can do in a group setting, right? Like this aerial yoga that people do.
Yes.
But it's intense, I hear. You have to have a lot of core strength.
Yes, but you can do it at any level. It's like yoga.
Okay.
Technically, you can be in Shavasana and you're doing yoga.
Right.
It's accessible. It's like another thing that white women kind of brought down.
Yeah.
It's like yoga is not just for the advanced yogi.
Yeah. It's not all handstands.
Aerial. Yeah.
Oh, good.
You can just sort of go upside down in the hammock and like
enjoy that.
If you've heard of inversion therapy, it just like gets your blood flowing and
is that like where you put
amazing.
your feet up on the wall?
Yeah, so they have like inversion tables you can do it on, or you can do it against the wall, or just like in the hammock, you literally just go upside down and you can just sort of feel like a release in your spine. And, there's a very gentle way to do it.
I need that.
It feels great. Like yesterday, I was just putting my neck in it because I get a lot of neck tension. And so you just put your neck in the hammock and like let your body weight do the work and it like releases it all. It's amazing.
Wow. This is everything I needed to know in a podcast. You should make one. Awesome. I want to ask you a question. What are your thoughts on soft launching? Or do you know what soft launching is?
Yeah, soft launching meaning like teasing a partner.
Yeah.
Right? On teasing the reveal of a partner on social.
Yeah.
I did one earlier this year.
Oh, really?
And people were like, "Hell yeah, they loved it."
Oh, yeah.
Cuz it was like just his hand and then just us hugging, but you could only like see him from the side. But then I think people love it because then they start searching. Yeah. It like gives them a game to play. Now they can like dig through your socials and be like, is it this guy? Is it that guy?
It's so funny to see people speculate on like,
they
think every famous person knows each other too. It's especially with TikTokers or like, there was this one TikToker who posted the hand of someone, and they thought it was a Bachelor contestant because they followed each other on Instagram.
Everyone
And,
thought
like,
my dude was a Bachelor contestant too.
Man.
As
That
if
was them.
a person in the public eye can only be interested in another person in the public eye.
Right.
Well, that's what they want it to be.
Yeah. And we were talking, you are on dating apps.
Yeah, I was.
You were on dating apps.
Yeah.
And so
But can I just say something
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
famous person thing?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I was like, this actually came up the other day. Because people are always like, oh, like your co-star is super cute. Like he's so handsome.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, you mean the guy in the makeup trailer, like doing a clay mask and plucking his eyebrows?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Give me the dude on set that's like moving heavy equipment and like sweating.
Can I ask you an industry question?
Yeah.
How real are PR relationships?
I'm not the expert on this, but I definitely I've seen it take place.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that it's so mutually beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you end up getting to just like live your life and be paid for it.
Right. And it can give you clout, give you growth.
Yeah. Both people benefit almost no matter what. Like if they're
Right.
both in the public eye,
Right.
people are so fucking curious about relationships.
Yeah.
So if you give that to them, even if it's just photos, like they love it, they eat it up.
Yeah.
I think it's a great
There's
it's
like
a great
a
career
coffee date that paparazzi gets called to.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just smart. It's good business,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. Man, maybe brands should be doing this too with each other.
I think
Yeah.
more people should be talking about it openly and frankly because,
Yeah.
well, I have some kind of alternative views on romance in general. I don't know if you're an
Oh, what do you
Esther
mean?
Perel fan.
No. But
Um,
let's chat about it.
I just think, we talked a little bit about religion
Mm-hmm.
and this idea that like you're going to marry one person, be with them for 60 years. Yes, great. I think we can do that. But this idea that like you'll only have eyes for them and just like want to ravish them, for the next 75 years is a little bit far-fetched.
Right.
And if you read like more scholarly things on it, they're like, yeah, because we used to live to age 40
Mm-hmm.
and then you die.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be with someone
Yep.
forever when you die at 40.
Right.
Like,
Of a plague.
so I just think like if you're gonna be with someone for 70 years, to think about it more logically and practically of like, how are we gonna sustain ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and think about it not only from a romance perspective, but like a business perspective. Because at the end of the day, what is a marriage?
It's
If not
a contract.
a contract, it
Yep.
is a business partnership. And I
Yep.
think if you're thinking of it only from the romance aspect, you're just being naive.
Yeah, and when you're ending a marriage, it's like this, you're breaching a contract almost, and it's like legal gets involved, and not to mention the government part of it with taxes and all that. It's just crazy
Yeah.
to deal with. But
What do
Yeah.
you think about the soft lunch?
the soft, I think it can work. I don't know. I was kind of talking. We were talking about the mystery, and sometimes that people are too mysterious. I think I don't hate it, but I hate when people think too much about it.
Yeah.
When people are like, I've seen people even fake it with like a friend just to like get some curiosity
Attention.
and get some
Yeah.
attention. But then I think that's only going to hurt them in the long run, because if nothing's actually happening, it's just it kind of creates a false reality. I'm a big believer, specifically with me, because not everyone's the same. I understand, but that you could live in a false reality very easily, and you can kind of create a false reality around you,
Yeah.
which I've done many times, which happened a lot in Revenge, didn't it? The show you were in?
Well, and
Yeah.
it's, you can also do it strategically to
Yeah.
protect yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's,
Yeah.
I think, the brilliant part about being a creator on social media is that you get to control 100% of your image.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a world where everybody else was editing my performance.
Right. Oh my God.
Could just edit you out of the thing if they want.
Yeah. Like you work I never thought about that.
Now
So
I get to control my whole image forever.
you produce your own show.
It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. My
It's
grandpa
empowering.
asked, when he asked about my TikTok, he asked me how my TV show's going. He's like, how's your TV show? And I'm like,
It is.
TV show? My dad's like, your TikTok. I'm like,
It
it is
is.
though. Yeah. To him, it is. Yeah.
It is. And so when
Yeah.
people talk about social media as this like big, new, foreign, scary thing, I'm like, no, it's media.
Mm-hmm.
We're just creating on a, smaller scale.
And you can advertise on it. You could show your talent. You could show your life. I have a friend sharing their IVF journey, which I think is really important too, because a lot of people face things like a miscarriage, or or like the fact that they're infertile alone. And so when they see just a couple on the internet doing it, it kind of gives them some solace and some comfort.
Yeah, that thing where women feel like a failure or like they're broken because they're going through this experience. And then the second you share it, you have 700 other people going, same thing happened to me. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm not a failure.
Right. Right. And that's why I think when people create, and the word flop, I kind of hate that word, because at the end of the day, it's like people still see your content, and people are, even if one person relates to a post that 50 people viewed opposed to the normal 5 million, that's still one person's life that you changed.
Right. Oh, 153 people liked your post. Can you imagine 153 people like congratulating you? You'd be like, oh my God.
Literally. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is insane to think about the reach that anyone could have these days.
Yeah.
And I think there was, I don't know if this is still a fact, but your brain can't handle knowing 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just the fact that, like, for both of us, millions of people follow us. Our brain can't even handle one. Is that 1/100th of it? I'm really bad at math.
Same.
Yeah, it's like you're like
artists.
you're like yes,
Leave us alone.
yes. Well, yeah, I'm an artist, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Oh, and if I hear one more person tell me they've been shadow banned,
oh my God,
I'm gonna lose it. You're not shadow banned. Your content just isn't good enough.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's also good.
Try again.
Shadow banned is literally where no one sees it. If the people just think that if their viewers are going down, they're shadow banned. It's like, no, that's not a thing. There's not like some little man looking at your profile going, I'm going to shadow ban them.
Oh, I love when I lose followers. I call it curation.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Trimming the fat is what they call it. Yeah. In the corporate world, that's what they call it, at least. Well, thank you, Christa. Thank you to our listeners out there. Please like and subscribe. And if you have anything that you think we miss, comment below, and then maybe Christa will come back and can answer it.